Welcome to the Diana Falzone Show here on Paltalk. I'm sure many of you are getting ready for the holiday season or are thinking, what do I get my significant other? And oh my God, he's going to meet the parents for the first time? How's this transition going to go? So to answer all your questions, we have relationship experts, authors, entrepreneurs, Christie and Ted Scofield. You guys can look them up right now at icebreakerentertainment.com. Welcome.
Thank you. Thanks for having us.
Of course. So what do you have in your hand right now? Because I'm a big fan of this book. I have this book, and I'm not saying if I have or haven't used it.
Well done. Very well done. Don't give away too much information. This is Sexy Slang's Bedroom Challenges, 69 Ways to Spice Up Your Sex Life. So it's a fun little book. We started our company actually with a fun board game about sexy, fun terms, and we really found that it opened up the conversation with people, and they started talking about, you know, topics in the bedroom, and it really helped with relationships. So we felt like we could take the fun little gamey concept and put it in a book and try to help couples open up communication in the bedroom and other places, maybe in the kitchen, on the table. No, sorry.
Wow, she's actually the shy one.
That's right.
Get ready.
Well, and so many sex books, as you know, are kind of intimidating. They can be very textbooky, or they can be just something you may not want to pick up. But this little book is just fun. So you accomplish the same goals: learn new tricks, learn new things, talk to your significant other about fun new topics. But you don't have to feel like you're bringing home a textbook or you know, something.
Because that would be totally unsexy if you're like, listen, dear boyfriend or husband.
Insert slot A into position, exactly.
So you're a married couple. Yeah. How did you guys decide to write books like this?
Well, as Christy said, our company started with a really fun board game called Sexy Slang, and that's like charades and Pictionary, but with 500 slang terms. And we kept getting this great feedback from people who bought the game saying, wow, we played your game, then we went home that night and we tried this one. Or we did this, and so that planted the seed in our minds that if a game can help couples explore new things and can help people, it was a very PG-13 game. It was at Barnes & Noble, so it's not like this was some
kind of PG-13.
It wasn't like it was a seedy
it's
game.
It's a little racier than PG.
But we thought, well, if a game can help, let's take some of the fun lessons from the game. Let's put them into a book. So, you know, it's not a book with lots and lots of, you know, dense paragraphs. It's a book with lots of fun drawings and pictures and
Give us an example of
one.
Sorry,
this is actually cracking up because I haven't opened it for a couple of
This is actually a book that's good for a stocking stuffer. You can give it to friends. You can give it to friends that you know that might want a little bit more spice in their life or have a good sense of humor about spicing things up.
Yeah, that's what it's supposed to make you laugh. Like we have, you know, we have chapters on a variety of topics. For instance, the one on toys, it's the chapter's called No, It's Not a Back Massager. And you know, we try to introduce toys to conversation in a fun and lighthearted way. There was one I was just opening up to Joy Jelly that was cracking me up because it was we have each little topic has like a fun pictogram that you're supposed to you're supposed to figure out. Like, say for instance, you're supposed to figure out what this picture means, and this is actually in the assume the position chapter, I believe. So this represents a position. Do you know what it is?
Yes, but I don't want to say it because that makes me seem too schooled. That's reverse cowgirl.
It's reverse cowgirl.
Yeah.
Did you say too schooled? Oh, God. You learned everything you know just from this book,
That's
right?
true. That is true. I learned everything from this book. And I want to make sure that our Paltalk viewers know that they can ask questions regardless of how, let's say, saucy or sassy it might be.
Is a good word.
This is an open forum, but keep it classy at least. And if you don't have a Paltalk mic, then you can text in your question, and Gary, our producer, will send the questions to us, and we'll answer them right away. And if you do have a mic, you raise your Paltalk hand, and you simply ask Christy and Ted directly what is going on in that mind of yours.
So fun.
It's
so
fun.
Cool.
It's very fun and very interactive.
That's great.
I want to talk about how couples can kind of maneuver through the holidays. Because it is a difficult time, especially if you're in a dating relationship, not necessarily married, and you want to spend the holidays together, but you have parents in different states, different cities. What do you recommend?
Wow, well, we, as everyone does, we struggled with it when we first started dating, and we did spend the first couple years apart, but we tried to be together like shortly after the holiday. But after a few years of dating, we finally bit the bullet and said we have to pick. So we actually go to he's from Kentucky originally, I'm from Florida, so we go to Kentucky for a little bit, then we go to Florida right after, so we still hit both of them, but just at different times. And
that's right.
It's tough, I mean, but you have to get your family to buy into it and talk to them about it. It's always the first year though, who's going to get you for Christmas, right?
Right. So compromise.
Yeah, it is really compromise.
It is really a compromise. When you live far, when your parents are fall apart or you have to go different places, it's tough. You know, you're lucky that you have, you know, significant other and your parents are close.
Yeah, no,
it's great.
It's
Ours
very,
are 500 miles apart or so. So
how did you have that conversation with your parents? Because I think always being the daughter is, it's an old school mentality that the man goes with the daughter. You know, it's when you marry someone, especially a daughter, you feel like you're getting a son, but then you lose the son if you're
right.
You know, so how did you kind of deal with that?
His mom made it easy for me. She was really great. Yeah, so you can pray for a good mother-in-law. Pray for a good mother-in-law. So she recognized that, and she's like, oh, I think that, you know, first time you all should be with her family. But then, of course, we went to your family like
second year.
No, but I mean, I think we went to see them right before Christmas.
Yeah, well,
so we were there right before.
We'll spend Christmas Eve and Christmas Day with one set of parents, and then on the 26th or 27th, we'll fly to the next set of parents. And then we just switch that each year.
But you gotta, you know, when you want to open up that conversation, it's tough, but you know, just pray for the good again, mother-in-law.
And hopefully no one yells at you or be like, you're tearing the family apart.
Well, we were both in our 30s the very first time we didn't wake up Christmas morning in our own, you know, family home.
Speak for yourself. I'm still in my 20s.
And it was, sorry. And it
was very confused.
It was an odd. And for me, at least, I think for Christy too, it was an odd thing. You know, the very first time, you know, you're not in your family home on Christmas morning. But you know, we've adjusted, and this is what, our 5th or 6th or 7th year now. We've done the compromise thing, and it's worked out great. Awesome. So we also get 2 Christmases.
Well, there you go. It's like that Reese Witherspoon Vince Vaughn movie for Christmas.
Right.
They just avoided it entirely.
They flew away on vacation. Yeah.
Right. Exactly. Our first caller is Gary from New York. Hey, Gary.
Hi, Gary.
Hi, Diana. Hey, you know, you guys were saying something about toys in the bedroom.
Yes.
Yes.
Some men may feel like toys in the bedroom could replace them or something.
Oh,
is that a concern?
That's a great question.
That is a great question.
You know, I've actually heard that sometimes from my guy friends, but everything we've read and our own experiences and our friends' experiences who have shared them with us when we were writing the book says actually just the opposite. Anything you can do to get her more excited in the bedroom is good for the guy.
Right. We actually talked about it on our pocket rocket topic. So anyways, can you see that, the little penis and the little rocket? So that's our pocket rocket topic. But and actually we tried to open up that conversation and just, you know, it says many men are intimidated by vibrators and afraid that the woman might desire the vibrator more than the man. But it says, don't be intimidated, boys. A vibrator can make your life easier.
Yes.
And it's very true. True? Okay.
True.
They increase sexual responsiveness in most females and help get their motor running. If both of you are new to the adult toy department, try to steer clear of the monstrous double-headed vibrating strap-on. Can we say that?
Ooh,
sorry.
Yeah.
Which will only frighten you. But you know, just start small with something like a pocket rocker, an egg, or something. But yeah, it can really. It could help just add some stimulation to the time together, actually. She doesn't have to use it without you. She can use it with you, which is awesome.
In our experience, both of you, have you ever heard of a woman saying, gosh, I don't need a guy anymore because I...
No.
That doesn't... Yeah.
So I think that's a male fear that is not founded by any real reality.
That's a great question.
It's a great question, and we hear it a lot. And if your relationship is falling apart and you're not having a good sex life anyway, and your girlfriend or wife comes home with something that, you know, makes her happy, you were already there, basically.
Right. So. It could be like the salvation that you may need for it. Isn't it true in a long-term relationship that 7-year itch is actually a myth? It's 3 years when the pheromones and the hormones start actually dwindling off, and it's the 3-year mark that you need to really start working at the sexual relationship aspect.
That's exactly what all the studies show.
Yeah.
The 7-year itch comes more from the typical length of an entire marriage is often 7 years, and that is borne out by the studies.
Yeah.
But as we all know, the day the marriage starts to go bad is not the day you get divorced.
Yeah.
Exactly. There's a long denouement. There's a long time for when things started to get bad to when it ends.
Yeah, and I think that part of the ways to avoid any of those issues and losing that spark is really to just diversify, just change things up. I mean, not every day, but every day.
Every day.
Well, it's so much work, though.
It is.
And it does take work.
Don't think of it as work.
No, but I think for men it's different because I'm sorry, women's work is never done no matter what. And
hey, I take out the garbage.
Okay, that is heavy lifting. But it does take a lot to put yourself out there, try different things.
Yeah.
And it takes time, and it does take. It's the emotional work too that no one really wants to do as well, which.
Well, that's a word. Emotional what?
Yeah, But it's the physical stuff. It's also interwoven, and people just don't want to see how that kind of can have an effect. But what do you think when people start noticing a disconnect, noticing problems? How do they just nip it in the bud? Is it communication?
Definitely.
Is it those things?
Definitely need to talk about things. Like, don't let it fester and speak about what you're concerned about. I mean, for most women, it's generally, men, it's always like, more sex, need more sex, need more sex.
Yeah.
For women, it's always some sort of emotional thing, like something's not being met. I mean, well, not always, sometimes it's more sex too, but
more backups,
it's usually like, like, I need you to meet more emotional needs. So you have to be able to have those conversations with one another. Don't just like be angry and, roll over and turn your back on each other.
I have one more comment for Gary, though, before we lose Gary.
He wants to talk more about the toy.
No, just one thing that I've read and we've heard anecdotally from our studies and experiences, shop together.
Right, shop for toys together.
Shop for toys together. A man
makes it more fun.
And a man may feel more intimidated if this thing just arrives in the night.
Yeah.
As opposed to if the couple goes out and shops together.
That's a fun little date too.
In this day and age.
Well, some wine and cheese.
Exactly.
And you don't have to go to the seedy store on the wrong side of town anymore.
Right.
I mean, we were in Target the other day and just shocked by not shocked, but surprised. Personal massagers are in Target.
Really?
All different kinds of lubes and oils and all that.
Wow, Target.
Yeah.
The Walgreens too.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you don't have to go
if you want a variety, it's actually kind of fun, I think, to go to the sexy stores.
Yeah.
Because you can sit there and giggle. Like, I mean, you could look at some of have you seen the size of some of those things? Like,
but
just go and giggle at each other.
Depending on where you live, you may have more options. We're lucky to live in New York City. We can walk across the streets, basically.
Well, you can even do shopping online. One of our buddies does something Sexy Planet, and he does good discreet shopping stuff, and that's kind of fun too. You could giggle online, like, what in the world is that?
In the privacy of your own
house. We actually picked to correspond with our book. We picked a selection of products because there are so many out there at Something Sexy Planet /Sexy Slang. There are products that we picked to go along with the book.
Oh yeah.
So kind of distilled them down a little bit.
Oh wow, there's so many. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, where to go?
Sorry.
No,
hopefully that addresses Gary's
question.
I
think Gary is ready to bring in the new year with everything you just told him. I do want to just kind of ask what your opinion is of all the relationships in Hollywood that kind of fizzle. Like, you look at Jennifer Lopez, how she just goes to the next guy, goes to the next guy, and it seems like there's no such thing as long-term or working through things.
Right.
A lot of people sometimes believe the grass is greener and just won't work. What's your advice for those types who think, like, we're not meant to be with someone for 20 years, 10 years, blah, blah, blah?
Youth. My first comment is that's a very kind of youthful thing to believe, and when you are young, you can put yourself in an environment where you quickly meet new people. There is some truth in it in a way, and you want young people to date and meet lots of people, but you get to an age where it's no longer really practical, and it's no longer really emotionally satisfying to have that attitude. It's like, oh, a little thing went wrong, I'm moving on.
Right. You want to find a partner that you want to commit to and just see yourself going through life together. I look at those stars, and they have so much thrown at them. I mean, there's always, most of them are just totally beautiful, like yourself.
Oh, well, thank you. Ted, you're a very attractive man. Lot of love.
Lot of love in this room. But anyways, my point is that they always have, people in their face, like, oh, I'm here if that person doesn't work out. Like they have so many temptations, but you really have to have a commitment to the person you're with, and you know there's going to be downtimes, and you just have to,
right.
you know, not be distracted by those other, you know, people who might be interested, but you know, just you know, work through your issues.
I think a major issue
with
people in the media is you know, accessibility.
Yeah.
And you know, you get 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. You're told how wonderful you are.
Mm-hmm.
You know, people just absolutely bending over backwards to tell you how great you are, and you know, you have PR people and handlers and all that. And I can't imagine, you know, someone like Jennifer Lopez not thinking there's something better for me around the corner.
Right.
It's got to be hard not to.
Oh, yeah.
But when you think of temptation, I always think that temptation is there if you allow it to be.
Right.
Because
that's a great statement.
When you are really with someone, I have to say it for myself, like when I'm with someone, I am monogamous. I don't see other men in that way I used to, where I'm like, oh, he could be. He could maybe work. It's like, well, why would I want to, you know, why would I want to.
That's a great statement.
Why
He's got some potential.
He's got some potential there. But now it's like, I already know what I have, and why would I want to rock the boat and have to start it all again with someone? Because I love the idea of when you're really with someone for years, the way you guys have been, you can say, remember when.
Right.
And Barbara Walters once said her biggest regret was, I have no one to say remember when.
Wow.
That's sad.
Yeah, it is sad, and I don't want that. I'm sorry, it's Joan Rivers. My mistake.
Joan Rivers.
Barbara, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. But just going back to more of the transition and the makeups and the breakups of the holiday season, why do you think that the holiday season is a pressure cooker for dating?
Wow, well,
variety of things.
Where to begin?
Yes.
You know, I mean, the holidays are stressful for everyone. You've got so many things you have to do in such a short period of time. You've got the whole gift issue, especially in a new relationship.
So difficult.
What do I get her? What do I get him? You know, all those things.
Besides the toys.
Yeah. One of my, I'll never forget this. One of my first serious relationship, I was in high school, and the first Christmas rolled around, and I bought my high school girlfriend a gift. And it was a shirt. It was like a little shirt that she said she liked. I bought it like 2 sizes too small.
Well, that's actually a compliment. If you did 2 sizes too big, she meant.
But it was, you know, I was 17 years old and mortified. You know, I was like, oh. But so I think the gifts, and then of course what we talked about earlier, the whole family thing.
Yeah.
Where are we going to go? How are we going to spend our time? You know, if our parents are meeting for the first time, are they going to get along? You know, are the parents going to like me? What about the sibling? There's just so much going on during the holidays and so much stress.
It is a lot.
When you throw a new relationship into it, it's a crucible of despair.
Right, but you also crucible of despair.
That's the tagline of the day.
Little hyperbole.
The holidays equal a crucible of despair. I don't think that's what they had in mind for Hallmark. You'd be so fired.
Oh my God. Sorry, you're such a dork. I love it.
You can go to icebreakerentertainment.com and you can have all the links to all the other brands for Sexy Slang, Sassy Slang, and Sporty Slang. I love them all. I think you guys do a great job at all of your marketing and branding, and also your relationship advice. You're spot on.
Thank you.
Happy holidays to you.
Thank you, you too.
And we will see you guys on Tuesday with a new show. For all of you out there, have a great day, and check icebreakerentertainment.com. Thanks, Christy and Ted.
Thanks so much.
Thank you.
Bye.
Merry Christmas.